Roadmap, Benzinga's NFT show. We got a good one for you here today on this Wednesday. We're going to be talking to Sprinter, a remote work company that is headed into the Web3 space. How do NFTs fit into the future for that company, and how can you get your hands on one? That'll be coming up in just a couple minutes. Alyssa and I will also be walking through the top news and headlines in the NFT space. What were the top NFTs by sales volume last week? Are Ethereum Name Services popping again ahead of the Ethereum merge? We also have news in the sports NFT space with Sorare partnering with NBA. We'll talk why that is such a big deal. And we'll also talk about apes versus punks, but this time for a good cause and not a fight over the floor price. Don't go anywhere. This is the Roadmap. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and smash that like if you have not done so already to wake up the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment in the chat to let us know that you are here watching us live. If you are watching this video after it aired, we appreciate your support as well. Be sure to smash the like and leave a comment after this video went live, so we know that you are following along with Benzinga's great NFT coverage. And speaking of Benzinga's NFT coverage, if you missed last week's episode on Thursday, I did announce that Benzinga has a crypto and NFT event coming up later this year. That's right, Future of Crypto, December 7th in New York City. If you would like to attend that event and would like to find out how you can get 50% off on your ticket purchase, stay tuned till the end of today's episode. I have that code and that link for you, and we would love to see you at Future of Crypto. Who knows? I might be there. I'll probably be there. We'll see. We got some great companies that will be there, though, and I know that you guys don't want to miss out, so definitely stay tuned for that. As I said, we do have an interview on today's episode. I am super excited to talk this one, right? We hear a lot about companies getting into the Web3 space and using the growth of blockchain, Web3, and NFTs to transform their businesses. And we're excited to welcome a company doing just that onto today's show. So it is my privilege and honor to welcome Brian Shields from Sprinter. Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I am doing great. Happy to have you on the show today. So first off, before we dive into Sprinter, just wondering if you can give viewers and listeners a bit of background about yourself and then also your history in the Web3 and NFT space.
Yeah, so kind of top level on myself. I'm a former debt and capital markets banker. I was in syndicated bank debt during, prior to the great financial crisis. Got out of the banking world with my soul intact, I like to say. Started working with tech startups and moving into venture capital. And then I was working with digital marketing agencies, doing everything from B2B content marketing, SEO, user experience, social media management. And then, started a digital agency and software studio back in 2015 with my partner, Alex Ford Carther. And then we started building our own internal platform. And that's what we eventually rolled out to become the Sprinter platform.
Awesome. Yeah. So Sprinter, let's dive in. Tell us about Sprinter, right? Centered around remote work, which is a topic we know well in the financial media space. But how does Sprinter play into remote work?
Yeah, so basically, we've been working with remote teams for several years, and we wanted to kind of build our own platform that was able to kind of streamline the process for all the stakeholders. So like you see right here, it's a source, manage, and operate remote team. So, whether you're a small, independent consultant, or if you're running a boutique agency or a larger firm, there's too much friction in product development. There's too many moving pieces. There's a lot of time loss and a lot of inefficiencies and a lot of individual product management tools that kind of like exist in a silo and don't necessarily necessarily work together. So we wanted to build a platform from the ground up on top of the Ethereum blockchain that actually allows everyone to transact within a DAO structure, so that the individual members are contracting through smart contracts. So basically, as a client, you know what Tom, Dick, and Harry are doing. You know that you're on time, you're on budget, and you know that you're only actually risking part of your technology budget as the deliverables are met. So you're basically able to eliminate counterparty risk and execution risk through smart contracts for the client. And then for any of the members of the community that are providing services through the Sprinter network, we're eliminating accounts receivable because they're actually receiving the payments as the work is getting done. So there's no longer any net 30, net 60, net 90 payment terms. You're not chasing invoices. You're not worried about people getting blocked because someone's going on vacation. You're really able to kind of, bring everyone together, and we kind of solve for, information asymmetry, and by, providing transparency so that you have like a real-time dashboard, so that you're on time, you're on budget, and who's doing what and when.
Perfect. So Brian, I mean, remote work, we've heard a lot recently, right? Work from home. Here I am at home, right? Working from home every day. So we had this global pandemic, right, which brought a lot of negative things. But one of the things that changed businesses is now this transition to remote work from home, right? And how does Sprinter, play into that? And also, how has the growth been during and after the pandemic for Sprinter and the overall remote work industry?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the remote work industry as a whole expanded pretty dramatically during the pandemic. And for us, we had actually set up a remote engineering team over in Ukraine, in Kiev, prior to COVID. And so we were, working with a fully remote distributed team for the last few years, and we were able to kind of, hit the ground running with the pandemic and not, miss a stride until obviously the war began. And then our team, got distributed again and, resettled elsewhere. But so specifically what makes Sprinter unique is that we're using an NFT membership model as opposed to like a traditional B2B software as a service model. So instead of paying X dollars per month per seat for the number of headcount you have in your team, you're actually purchasing a token. So depending on which NFT you purchase, you're either going to be acquiring an individual membership or an agency membership. And then which token you have in your wallet is going to unlock the specific user experience and the user interface depending on the membership that you have. So if you're an individual member, you can run your own projects with your own team for your own clients within Sprinter platform. And it's meant as a white label solution. So you're able to kind of build your storefront for digital services the way you would use Shopify to build a digital storefront for physical products. And then if you have the agency owner membership, that might be where you have 20 product managers managing 50 client relationships, and you want to use Sprinter as a comprehensive operating system for a distributed team to manage all of your projects all at once. And so that would be kind of the equivalent of an enterprise license in the B2B SaaS space.
So Brian, walk us through, you said the two different types. Walk us through kind of the pricing tiers here and what is included for people that buy that NFT.
Yeah, so regardless if you purchase the individual membership or the agency membership, you're going to be receiving an allocation on the airdrop of the Run token, which is the native token of the Sprinter network. So the Run token serves both as a payment token within the network, as well as the governance token for all of the membership. So this is how we're going to be managing proposals in terms of new modules and new features of what we want to build into the platform, how we want to manage the roadmap as a community and kind of collectively govern this technology as we continue to grow and expand the network. And then so, the individual memberships are going to be needed to, run your own projects, like I was just saying. And then if you want to actually run your own teams with multiple projects, then you're going to need that agency membership. So the individual membership is represented with a PFP of these individual helmets. There's billion combinations of the whole PFP structure. We got some really, really cool art for the individual memberships, and then for the badges, those are represented by the agency memberships are represented by these badges that kind of delineates or designates you as that kind of higher tier within the Sprinter community.
So Brian, walk us through this Run token, right? So you said it's going to be an airdrop that everyone who buys those NFTs gets. This is an ERC20 utility token. What can the Run token be used for? How do people earn it? And can it be staked?
Yes to all these things. So you can earn it by contributing to the code base of the Sprinter platform, helping to design content, create content, post on social. There's going to be a whole rewards mechanism for the DAO treasury to be able to support those who are supporting the community. So that's one big part of how people can earn tokens. But you can also choose to receive payment in the run token as a service provider, and you can also choose to pay in tokens as a client. So if you're a client and you're paying in the native token, you're actually receiving a 25% discount on services. And if you're a vendor providing services and you choose to receive payment in the run token, you're getting a 25% premium on your own rate. So what's happening is that we're serving as an on-ramp for traditional businesses to kind of move from Web 2.0 fiat world to crypto and Web 3, right? So if you're choosing to transact in the native token as a client, you're receiving a 25% discount, and you're choosing to transact as a vendor, you're getting that premium. Because what's happening is that there's no longer an agency markup. There's no middleman fee going into place. And so what we're able to do is migrate to more of a peer-to-peer model within the network, so that we're able to reduce transaction costs for all members. So it's kind of like a Nash equilibrium, regardless of what side of the table you're on. If you're transacting with members of the Sprinter community, it's in your best interest to transact in the native token of the platform.
So there is some a DAO governance angle to this as well. We've heard a lot about DAOs recently. Walk us through the DAO angle being played out here with the Sprinter NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we are, kind of traditional Delaware C corporation that, built this platform, and now we're rolling it out and decentralizing the governance of this technology by setting up a DAO structure. So we're looking to set up a Wyoming DAO LLC. The run token is specifically engineered to, remain compliant within the U.S. system. It's not a security. It's a non-currency, non-security digital asset commodity. We're playing within all the rules in terms of KYC and AML. So what we want to make sure, though, is that we can actually have kind of generational planning in terms of the ongoing governance and expansion of this network beyond just myself and my partner Alex and the initial founding team that helped build this. So making sure that all of the stakeholders, whether you're a client, a project manager, a designer, a developer, a marketer, whatever, everyone's going to be able to have a way to contribute and make sure that their voice is heard in terms of what they think is best for the network. So everyone's going to be able to submit proposals. Everyone's going to be able to vote on those proposals. But more importantly, we do believe, kind of looking across other DAOs, that you do need to have some sort of structure in terms of leadership, in terms of like working groups and operating pods, whether it's a marketing team or a content team or anything like that. So we think that having a structure where there's kind of like a governing commission that the members can, elect, and then they have to get reelected to maintain those roles, is going to be really important in terms of continuity of governance over time. So making sure that some of the core members of the team are engaged with the community for the long run, as well as the ability to elevate new members of the community to positions of leadership within the DAO.
So there's mention on the roadmap of future mints and some token gated events. Share with us any details you can here, or when will we get an update on what's included for NFT holders in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot of fun stuff planned. So like as this kind of initial membership drive kicks off and people, are signing up for the whitelist on our website, you can go to sprinter.io/membership and sign up there. But we're going to be having kind of events coinciding with major tech conferences. We have an active presence at a lot of crypto and blockchain conferences. I'm probably going to, make an appearance at the one you mentioned earlier, Chris. I think that one sounds like a good one for everyone to put on their calendar. But yeah, we're going to be in Switzerland next week. We've got, teams across Europe. We've got, we're based here in Chicago. We've got people in Denver. We're looking to make sure that we are active with boots on the ground locally, so that we can kind of make sure that Sprinter is local at scale, so that we can actually start organizing events within your local startup communities, partnering with, incubators or, university groups, kind of like across the world and, major markets where we can, kind of activate this community and bring everyone together and, migrate everyone's, businesses onto the Sprinter platform.
Perfect. So Brian, before we let you go, just again, overall recap on the Sprinter NFTs, the remote work platform. There's still some people out there who maybe don't understand, how do I use this? Is it for me? So just maybe on that level of thinking, who's your target audience for these NFTs? And is there some use cases for people maybe not in the remote work space?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the core focus is definitely going to be business owners, agency owners, and basically, builders and operators within the technology space. Not just solely within Web3, but people that are, building with remote teams and operating with remote teams. That doesn't mean that you need to be a builder or operator professionally. If you're a financial professional, for example, and you're looking at this, if this is the type of technology, if you believe in decentralization, if you believe in Web3, and you believe that smart contracts and trusting people through technology is better than the ubiquitous surveillance that we see with some of the other project management tools in terms of guaranteeing payments, we definitely think that Sprinter is the type of project that you would want to support. You don't need to be actively contributing to projects or managing projects of your own, because you can purchase a membership, and then you can maybe you want to build something in the future. Maybe you want to be able to transfer the ownership of that token to someone else that wants to be able to build the digital agency of their own. But again, you can participate through the staking in support of the network as we kind of continue to roll out and expand the community.
Awesome. Well, Brian Shield Sprinter, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule joining us. What's the best way for people to find out more about this? Is it sprinter.io or to follow on Twitter, or both?
A little bit of both, right? Go to sprinter.io/membership, sign up for the whitelist. Follow us on Twitter at SprinterDAO. We've launched our Discord as well, so you're going to be able to get access to that through signing up on the website, and we'll put the link in there on social media as we start to post more content. We've got a new white paper that's going to be published later this month, so make sure you stay tuned. There's going to be some really good information in there for people that want to learn more about Sprinter in the early stage of this launch.
Awesome. Brian, thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to hearing more updates about Sprinter.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Happy to be here.
All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, I mean, we've talked a lot about these different segments, right? Getting into the Web3 blockchain and NFT spaces. Here's another use case, another example of a company, using that line of thinking, that segment, to grow the business, offer new membership perks, and also cater to maybe new people who didn't know the company existed. So another great way there. It's time to dive into news and headlines now. So I'm getting ready to welcome onto the show my co-host and producer, Alyssa. We're going to talk about some of the top NFTs last week by sales volume, what was moving and why, and also get into some of those things I mentioned at the top of the hour. And again, stay tuned. I do have that code coming for the Future of Crypto event later on. But without further ado, it's time to welcome on Alyssa. Alyssa, what's going on?
Good. Hi, how are you? How is everyone?
Doing good. Great interview there. Again, a company getting into the Web3 space. Love it. And Alyssa, speaking of NFTs and Web3, I mean, we haven't looked at the top 10 in a couple weeks, right? We haven't had some of the shows some of these days, but we're back. It's Wednesday, and I think it's time to maybe look at that top 10 and see what has been moving. So if we go to the 7-day there, of course, we see Immute Swap number 1. So rare, though. Number 2. I do have news on that I'll get to a little bit later. But that one is just massive, right? They keep showing up in the top 5 here. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have the Utes mint of Tube on the Solana blockchain. $6.1 million. Alyssa, I heard a lot about Utes over the last months, right?
Yeah.
I tried to get on the Ute list. I did not get on. We heard mention of it, right, when we talked about penguins the other day with Dreezus in the chat. I am actually a little surprised that this number is not higher. And again, I mean, it's still $6 million, but I don't know. This was supposed to be the next huge one. It is only on Magic Eden right now. I don't think they're on OpenSea yet. But I mean, what do you think of Utes here?
Yeah, like you said, it was all over Twitter for a very long time, actually, which I find usually bullish. That's how I find my projects most of the time. But I didn't know it was only on Magic Eden right now. Hold
And
on.
maybe I'm wrong, unless if it is on. But I'm looking at Magic Eden right now. It looks like we have a floor of 143 Sol. Sol is $32. So the quick math there is $4,576. But I mean, the gods is like massive and trading much higher than that. And again, this is from the same co-founder. I mean, I know they had some problems with the launch. It was supposed to launch Saturday or Sunday. They delayed it 24 hours because there was an issue. Yeah, I mean, Utes is fun to say. It's a cool brand, cool idea. But it has faced a lot of backlash, right? There's a lot of people mad they didn't get on the list, right? I mean, I didn't get on the list. I'm bummed, but not mad. So people were trashing the project. Then it had the delay, so more people trashing the project. Also, one of the things they got some backlash for was including a lot of celebrities on the allow list. And some of the celebrities, like, you didn't even know were into NFTs, or if they were, they barely hold any. But I don't know. Like, I guess I just expected to see Utes, number one on the list, right, for several weeks, to be competing. And I mean, they are unrevealed right now. There's still some stuff to be worked out. So, I mean, I guess time will tell. Maybe we'll be talking more about this next week. But ultimately, it did come in higher than Bored Ape for the week, though. I should add that, right? It is higher on that list. So,
I've been trying to pull it up on Magic Eden, but it just won't load. It's not working for me again. Look, guys, look. It's not working.
Magic Eden. See, like, I got mine to work, which is amazing because I have a million tabs open right now. I don't know how it is working, but Magic Eden has had some issues and some problems. And also, same can be said about Solana in general, right? That was the other big thing, was Utes really became like this battle of Solana versus ETH. Which they really played into. I don't own a U. I don't own a DeGod, right? But I want to learn more about it. I would welcome Frank DeGods to come on the show. And we can definitely talk more about Utes and hear all about the future. I do know he put out a tweet earlier today, basically talking about all the people fudding Utes and saying, if you want to buy it, you can. If you want to buy it and sell it, you can. But me and my team will never stop working. So, like, it's kind of that thing of betting on the founder, right? And he said, don't bet on me because I'm, like this awesome person. Like, bet on me because, we have a team and we're going to deliver. Alyssa, I do know that our boy Franklin, who was on last week's show Thursday that you missed, he definitely got pulled into some Utes drama. He was on the allow list, right? The Ute list.
Yeah.
And he minted his and he sold it for a profit, right? Which Franklin often does, right? And he's very transparent. He shares it on Twitter, hey, I just made X amount of money. And there's a chance he uses that profits to go shopping Bored Apes, right? I mean, he owns 60. Maybe he wants to own more. But a lot of people then destroyed it. And it was like, why did Franklin get on the list? Everyone knew he was going to sell it. So Alyssa, like, what's the strategy here? If you're Utes or Frank DeGods or both, like, how do you pick people to be on this list, especially if you know that, like, some of these big holders, they might just sell it, right? And not hold for the long term. Like, do you care or no?
I wouldn't care. Like, it's getting my project attention. And I don't care if they flip it right away. Like, if they make money off my project, I'm actually pretty happy for them,
Yeah. Yeah, and then go up. That picture there. So Alyssa, I saw this late last night. Someone made a project called what was it? Dude Yacht Club or whatever, like a play on Utes Yacht Club. A play on Utes and Yacht Club. It sold out. It was at 0.03 last night. When I woke up this morning, it was at like 0.07. Franklin, yeah, love that tweet there. He flipped one for like $2. But like, these derivative projects always pop up, and they're always popular like right after a mint, and then they kind of, fade away. Like, I mean, we'll see what happens. Hey, Charlie,
Hey, Shelley.
thanks for joining us as always. Yeah, seeing some familiar names in the chat. Again, guys, keep those comments going.
No, look at
We
this
want to have
comment.
an interactive. All right, Lord Byron says, you guys should sip hot tea on the air and call the segment NFT Time with Chris and Liz. I feel like I've heard NFT Time somewhere else, so I would have to look into the branding of that. I don't want to copy anyone else's brand out there, but I do kind of like that. As Liz is sipping her tea right now. In the Benzinga mug. Is that a Benzinga mug?
It is.
I got to get one of those. I don't have a Benzinga mug yet. So
swag.benzinga.com.
There we go. Nice plug. See how we did that, everyone? That wasn't even planned. Like, saw the mug. Also, I don't know. I'm wearing this polo today, Benzinga. I'm pretty sure you can get that on our swag store. Yeah. So easy plug opportunity there. But I mean, Alyssa, what do you think of these derivatives, right? Like, do these have any lasting power, or is this like a mint and sell super fast before it fades away?
I think it's a mint and sell super fast. I love derivatives because of that.
Yeah.
And
I kind of like those ones.
They look cool. Like, if something actually came out of them, I wouldn't even be mad. Like, they look good. They look pretty good. But I love derivative projects because, like, it just adds to the memes in the community as well. And I like adding fuel to fire. I run the Twitter account. I mean, I love adding the flames, like gas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like it, and I love the whole how we made $2 off this mint.
And Alyssa, I just looked, right? I shouldn't have looked. The floor price now is 0.1. On Yacht Club. And I was like, I don't really want to spend the time tomorrow, like, sitting there watching the floor price and making sure I sell these before they go to zero. But I almost bought some of these last night in the like 0.04 range. Man, I guess shoulda, coulda, woulda. I did see there's, the gold fur ones, and those were going for like 0.3, 0.4. I mean, who knows? Let's do this, right? It's Wednesday. Alyssa, let's circle back to Yacht Club next week, a week from today, and see if it is at 0.1 higher or lower. Alyssa, are you taking the under here?
I'm gonna say higher.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go up.
I was gonna say lower, but the fact that it's at 0.1 today makes me think it might have a little bit of lasting power. But I'm gonna take the under. A week from today, I think it's back down to like 0.05, 0.04. But yeah, let's address a couple comments there. Aaron, my roadmap sweatpants are my fave, so soft. Look at those guys. I mean, we might as well just call this an infomercial today, talking about all this sweat. But they are soft. I do own a pair. I definitely wore them at VCon. So if you saw anyone walking around VCon, I'm pretty sure Mitch had his pair on one of the days too. So I mean, take it from me, take it from Mitch, and take it from Aaron that those sweatpants are pretty sweet. And a BZ sweater as well. And then Lord Byron, I want to hit your next comment here, right? Finally got around to using the GameStop NFT marketplace. It's pretty nice. Let us know, Lord Byron, like, have you bought any NFTs, or have you just like signed up and still, looking around? Alyssa, you and I talked off air about the Betty Boop NFTs that were on GameStop, right? That was a good name for them to get. They also have, some big gaming NFTs coming. And from a stock angle, I should, of course, say that GameStop is reporting their quarterly earnings tonight after market close. And the last couple quarters, their press releases have shared a little bit of an update on the NFT marketplace, right? It'll say like, we're happy with the success of the NFT marketplace. And I think the last report said like what kind of sales volume they had in the quarter. So that's something I'm looking forward to. And I'll be writing an article on GameStop earnings later, is really to see, what kind of sales volume they have, because as we reported before, GameStop NFT marketplace is actually ahead of Coinbase, which, Alyssa, I can't believe I'm saying that statement. We look back to the start of the year, I would have never guessed. And that's not to make fun of GameStop, but I would have never guessed that GameStop would be beating Coinbase in terms of sales volume, because Coinbase was so hyped, right? And so many people signed up for that. And GameStop, of course, a lot of people know it, but like, you don't think of crypto when you think of GameStop. You don't think of NFTs. But as Lord Byron says, it's really easy to use. Alyssa, what do you think? GameStop NFT marketplace. You think they share an update tonight? And what do you think of Lord Byron's comments here from playing around on the site?
Hold on, I gotta bring my train of thought back. First off, I want to ask you guys, go answer my poll if you think it'll beat or miss. I don't know. Like, I think the NFT marketplace for GameStop, I think it's just gonna keep going. I can't gather my thoughts right now.
No, I mean, it looks pretty easy to
good.
use, and it looks like, again, like just different collections that like appeal to people, and nothing crazy, but like,
yeah, I was actually like pleasantly surprised at the amount of projects that are on it right now, and like they don't I don't know like most of them, but they look good, and I can see some people just hopping in and just seeing like art or maybe like a vibe that they like and just going for it. Like, look, there's 13 pages of NFT projects. Oof. And I think they're gonna like keep increasing, like getting partnerships maybe, like, and working closely with other like companies maybe, like as it goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the keys, right? Is as they add, different collections. As I said, they partnered with Betty Boop, right? And I mean, we talk about some of these smaller platforms, smaller projects, right? Like Recur, right? People hadn't really heard of Recur when they put out their pass, right? And then all of a sudden it was, Nickelodeon, Care Bears, Hello Kitty, emojis, right? Like these big brands that they're bringing into the NFT space. And that's kind of how like Rarible and some of these other, non-OpenSea platforms launched, was by having these exclusive collections from well-known artists. And, it was a way to really appeal to people that way. Yeah, the ETH Pilot collection is dope, Lord Byron says. Yeah, there's the Betty Boop ones. I mean, like, there's just there's a lot to unpack here. And again, I mean, I can't be on all these NFT platforms all day long, but like I feel like I need to like go explore them, right? Like even the Coinbase one. I haven't been on the Coinbase one probably since around launch time, right? And when we looked at the Bill Murray collection. But like, have they improved the things I said they should, right? Did they change it? Like maybe it's worth going back.
Yeah, I will say GameStop marketplace versus Coinbase. I'd rather be on GameStop. I just feel it feels easy, to use. And I mean, Lord Byron kind of like confirmed it. It's really easy to use.
Yeah,
and I think it's a good on them for like, because we talked about this off air before when we were talking about Hello Kitty, and Nickelodeon, but mostly Hello Kitty. Like, it's an iconic image and everyone knows it. And them GameStop putting Betty Boop on their platform, like everyone knows it. Like you see it and you're like, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Or like, what is that for GameStop NFT? Everyone knows who Betty Boop is, hopefully. I don't know about the younger generations though, but
yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy. Like GameStop, I feel like when they said they were going to do an NFT marketplace, right? A lot of people laughed at it. Because it was kind of like, oh, they're just trying to, get into something, that everyone's talking about, but they're not serious. But like, they seem pretty serious, and it seems like it's making some money. Sega Saturn reference, man, out of left field. I haven't heard Sega Saturn mentioned in a long time. They better
They better
know about the boop. I like can't even say that. Oh man. Loving these comments, guys.
I can't guarantee like the younger generation. I don't know if they actually would know the boop, you know?
Yeah.
It's spooky.
It's no, I mean it's possible. But oh, you know what? So Ute Yacht Club is on
apparently.
0.18. How many are for sale? Like 2? Oh my goodness. See, I don't even know how to use their.
I don't know how to use it at all. Like,
but that's crazy. 0.18. Man, Alyssa, I should have bought some of those last night. Like, what's 0.04 ETH at this point? Like, might as well take a bet on a derivative, right? So, but now there isn't another big mint for a while. Like, that was the thing. I should have known. Okay. Because remember when Moonbirds launched? Then we got all the Moonbirds derivatives.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were crap, right? I don't want to name drop, but I can think of one. From a person with a lot of followers on Twitter. But we also got like the AI Moonbirds, right? And those like doubled or tripled in value like right away. So like if you would have bought all the derivatives, chances are you would have ended up positive. And I feel like that could be the same with Utes now. Is like all these derivatives, they're not all going to make it. Eventually, they might all go to zero. But like, if you play the game, you can end up maybe making a little bit. And you know,
do you think okay? Would you rather? I'm making up my own right now. Would you rather like try to get on the whitelist and like scratch up like whatever you can if you don't have enough Ethereum or Solana, whatever project you're trying to get on the whitelist of like a really popular, everyone wants it project? Or do you want to like, would you rather like wait for the derivative to come out and try to get those and flip those real quick?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like because of like time, I don't know. It depends on how easy it is to scrape it together, but I feel like knowing how big some of these projects are, I feel like the easier route would be to scrape together and go after the whitelist for the big project and go that route.
Yeah.
I think going the other way is less expensive, but probably takes more effort in the long run, and time's valuable at this point, and I don't have enough time to do that. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's like user-based preference. I think I would go the derivative route because most of the time I can't even like, I don't have enough to buy the project, but I can buy the derivatives if I paid attention.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. So I don't even remember where we're at. I feel like we were still like on the top 10 list, but we jumped into Utes here. I mean, nothing else really jumped out a ton on the top 10 list. I mean, Bored Apes number 4, Other Deed 6, CloneX 7. I guess CloneX jumps out, Alyssa. I mean, they were down below the top 10. I know CloneX just did a couple drops, and again, they're really starting to evolve into the Nike ownership, right? Where I think it's going to be more and more apparent that CloneX and Artifact are owned by Nike. They already had, shoes and some clothing elements to them, but I think Nike is really going to start growing this. So CloneX actually saw a big increase in volume. What do you think of that, Alyssa?
It is surprising to see it on the top 10, actually number 7. Well, it's not surprising to see on the top 10, but number 7, yeah, I'll take that back. I don't know. It's Nike. I can see them just being here for the long run, especially the apparel.
Yeah.
Because like you can't go wrong with apparel. You really can't.
Yeah, and then I mean, even outside the top 10, like nothing else is jumping out that much to me. I mean, it just seems like an overall like slow market. The one that I want to get into now to highlight, Alyssa, which I mean we definitely have covered before, is ENS, Ethereum Name Services. So I don't think it shows up on the top 10 today, but had we have looked a couple days ago, yeah, number 12 right there. But had we looked a couple days ago, it definitely would have been in the top 10. I saw an article on Decrypt that said that ENS domains took the top spot, number one collection on OpenSea, up 170% over the past 24 hours. So this was a couple days ago. And trading volume, $3.76 million, up 43%. 9,000 ENS domains changed hands in the last 7 days compared to 16 Bored Apes. I mean, that's a apples to oranges comparison given the prices. Yeah, so here it is. The lowest ENS floor price, $16. You know, so like, what do you make of that, Alyssa, right? ENS domains are a lot more affordable. And with gas being lower, like you can actually like kind of buy and flip these a little bit easier than you used to be able to, right? When the ENS domain costs like 0.01 and gas was 0.01, you know, you had to sell at 0.03 to even make a profit. Now, I mean, you can buy these domains and you can make some money.
Yeah, it is nice to see that there is affordable names you can get. Hold on, let me go to the website. Every time I go there, I just what?
Let me send you a link here because I think if it has my settings right, it does. So what I look at, because I'm biased, I own a couple 5-digit ENS domains. A couple 5-digit ENS domains. That kind of represent like almost like a zip code, right?
Okay.
And I bought those on the site for I don't even remember how much, right? Not much. The floor price now on 5 digits is up to 0.07. And actually was pretty close to 0.1 at one point, Alyssa. And I mean, I spent less than 0.01 on each of these 5-digit domains. I'm also starting to get offers, right? Like in the 0.04 to 0.05 range on ENS domains, the 5 digits. So there's definitely people snatching them up. And I couldn't afford any 3 digits. I missed out on the run of 4-digit. So 5-digit was next, right? And my thesis was this 5-digit could represent a zip code, right? If a city ever wants to use it. And also as people use wallets, right? They want the shortest number combination possible if they don't have a word because it's going to be easier to remember, right? Yeah. So 5 digits, I think, is still pretty easy to remember. What do you think of that, Alyssa? Like the using the digits versus like your name or a word for your wallet.
The digits, like you said, it can go deep with like zip codes and cities and all that. Celebrities wanting to like, I don't know, do their zip code. Like I just had the idea, like birthdays, you know.
Yep.
6-digit, you can pull birthdays, and I bet you. I'm not going to bet you anything, but I can see people wanting that.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like, yeah, the 6 digits up here, still under 0.01. You know, so kind of, I mean, is that the next extension, right? Is, you know, how many digits out do we go before they kind of lose the flavor of being resaleable?
Yeah, I don't know. Because like, obviously, the longer the number, the less someone's going to want it, right? I can see the 6-digit one because of birthdays, and it's still not that long, right? But maybe they'll cap at 10, 20. I don't know. No, 20 is too much.
Yeah.
10. So I don't know.
I wish I would have bought more 5 digits is what I would say. And I actually almost snatched up a couple the other day because I don't know. I feel like the merge, we're going to get this run on ENS domains again.
Yeah.
Like, I just think so. Alyssa, you know, as I look at the clock and realize we don't have a ton of time left, I think we should hit would you rather, because I made a would you rather question based on ENS for today's episode. So for those who aren't familiar with ENS, there is going to be subdomains eventually. So like if you own, you know, 999.eth, eventually you could license out, and, you know, whoever owns Bored Ape 999, they could license out, you know, boredape.999.eth from you, right? And maybe they want to use that because the number is special to them, right? Or if you own, you know, Nike.eth, right? You could create shoes.nike.eth, right? These subdomains I think are going to be valuable in the future. But I also think numbers are going to be important, as I said, Alyssa, because they're easier to remember, right? So my question for you is, would you rather, if you had 35 ETH, you could buy one of the following. You could buy either a 3-digit ENS, or a couple months ago, you could have bought the word game.eth. So a 3-digit ENS or game.eth, which would you buy?
3-digit.
Really? I'm surprised because I know you're a gamer.
I know, but I still think I can get more value out of the 3-digit. I have a higher pool of people who might want that.
Yeah, I would agree with you short term, and I would say the 3-digit I think is more valuable right now. I think more marketable, easier to sell. If you own game.eth, I think you got to put the work in, and you would have to do the sub licensing, the subdomains, right? And I think you could make more over the long run, but I just feel like the 3 digits the safer bet too. And Shelly bringing up a good point, right? 69.eth is a gold mine. I don't think there is one. I think 3 digits is the minimum for ENS. Yep. So you would have to go 6969.eth. That one definitely a gold mine. I was like, Alyssa, I hope you're quick enough if for some reason it says it's available to do it, because if we're showing it on screen, yeah, and look at all the different ones.
It's gone. Yeah.
420.eth. There's one that Elon Musk someday, if he ever gets a wallet, right, would want. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack with ENS, and we'll talk more about that next week. I want to move on so we can get to a couple more topics here. So Alyssa, there's been this ongoing battle for over a year of Bored Apes versus CryptoPunks, right? Because CryptoPunks used to be the number one, used to be the OG, and then Bored Apes passed their floor price last year. Now they actually kind of coincide together, right? Because Yuga Labs owns the rights to both. But there's this ongoing battle, but we got this really cool feel-good moment and feel-good story, right? That Bored Apes versus CryptoPunks, this battle that raised money for charity. So I saw it on Bored Ape Gazette that the Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis got $55,900 in a donation that was raised from holders of Bored Apes and CryptoPunks. And what happened was there was this challenge online by Ape Father, who essentially challenged the communities of the two collections and said, hey, let's raise some money. And you either donate for CryptoPunks or you donate for Bored Apes, and let's see, you know, which one can raise the most money. And he actually said that the idea came from Vitalik, right, the Ethereum co-founder, saying that ape holders were not doing enough to help the world, which is actually kind of an interesting statement because we've definitely seen the NFT community and crypto communities be kind of supporting, but again, not to segue too much in that. But Alyssa, I mean, really cool story here, right? To see the charity aspect, right? And kind of pit the two against each other. Seems like a great idea in the battles.
Yeah. No, it's really a good idea. There's a lot of momentum behind the whole like Punks versus Ape thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's owned by the same people now, but it's still there. And if proven right there, that's good. That's really cool to see. And also that comment with the Bored Apes haven't done enough for the community or whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's very interesting, especially coming from, Vitalik, someone so influential in the crypto world. But yeah, this was just a cool story to share. So that was Apes versus Punks. Again, $55,900 raised for a children's hospital. Speaking of Bored Apes, Alyssa, right? Ape Fest. We talk about it at length, right? The annual event at NFT NYC this past year. 4 days, and ape holders and mutant ape holders got to pick, right, to go to one of the days. We got performances from a ton of musicians. Well, now someone raised the point on Twitter and said, hey, wait a sec. Should Ape Fest be a digital and physical experience in the future? And will Ape Fest ever exist inside the other side metaverse? And Bored Ape co-founder Gordon said that Ape Fest should be digital and physical. He said there's bound to be some hiccups with musicians' contracts and what will be allowed to stream, but we'll make it work. Ape Fest should be a digital and physical experience. So first off, Alyssa, do you support this? Yes or no? Should Ape Fest be both physical and digital if you own one of those assets?
Yes, it should be both.
Do you think it takes away any from but I guess if you hold one, I feel like you should be a part of it, right? And it's in New York. If you own a Bored Ape and you live in Europe or Asia, shouldn't you be able to take part in it? I feel like
in some way. Sense. Yeah, in some way, it would be really cool to be able to be a part of something. You're a part of Bored Ape, right? But a lot of people can't go, just drop from their job or whatever, or their family, and just go to an event for 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. So Alyssa, what about what Gordon said though about musicians' contracts? So one of the big appeals of Ape Fest is those live performances. So let's look at day 4. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Lil Wayne all performed, right?
Yeah.
If you went live, you got to see that. What if people who were part of Ape Fest digitally couldn't be part of that because they can't stream the music in other side? Is it still worth doing, or how do they get that benefit to people on the digital side?
I think they should work. I think they should work on doing other things for the digital people, maybe, if it's not too much, and it shouldn't be. Because there's contracts and being allowed to stream certain things. You still want to have FOMO to get people into your physical event, and those concerts are a good way to do it. But to appeal to your digital people, you could do something different, maybe a smaller artist in the digital realm.
Yeah. No, I think for sure. I think there's ways to do it. And maybe not the next Ape Fest, but maybe the one after that, right? And and let's remember, other side's still working on getting its game and platform out, right? So I don't think they're gonna want to, do this full-blown experience and concert there until they know that it can go off without a hitch. So, but I think it's cool to see Gordon say, that digital should be explored as well. So Alyssa, as I said at the start, right, Sorare keeps popping up in the top 5 of the list. So Sorare is fantasy sports and blockchain technology. And they launched several years ago with soccer NFTs. And they also have like a game you can play, right? A fantasy sports element. I reported earlier this year that they also partnered with Major League Soccer, MLS, in the US. They also partnered with MLB, Major League Baseball. And now the news out today is they are partnering with the NBA, National Basketball Association, to launch NFTs of players and a fantasy game for the upcoming season. So over the last 7 days, Sorare number 2, Top Shot is less than that. So like there's going to be some competition here in the NBA space, I think, Alyssa, right? Top Shot's got the moments, right? The video side of things. But I feel like Sorare is doing more on the fantasy sports side of things. What do you think? Is there room for multiple players here in sports NFTs, or does this kind of bring some added competition that Top Shot maybe wasn't ready for?
They get that competition in. I think people will care more about the fantasy than the moments. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like you're right. And DraftKings also has some NFTs, and they're doing like the daily fantasy element of it. And more on that on tomorrow. I think we're going to be talking sports NFTs tomorrow. I actually have a DraftKings NFT pack to open still. But ultimately, like Alyssa, you said competition, right? As a person who buys NFTs, I've always been taught that competition is usually a good thing for the consumer, right? Not necessarily the companies, but for the consumers, which is us, right? The people buying these NFTs and selling them. And I think it's cool. I didn't get into Sorare when it started with the soccer NFTs, and I wish I would have, because there's been some big sales there. And also, if you know how to play fantasy sports, I feel like you can make some money flipping them. And I think that's going to be similar here in basketball. I'm excited to see it. I welcome the competition. And also, I mean, look at what NBA Top Shot did, right? They're $1 billion by sales volume. Like, Sorare isn't there yet, but with all these different sports like partnerships they have, I feel like Top Shot or Sorare could be one to watch out for here in the long term.
Yeah, where is Top Shot right now?
So if you go 7 day, I feel like it was
21
right there.
Nice.
So also you have NFL all day 23. So really so that's going to be one of the differences though in comparing these, right? Sorare is for multiple sports, right? Whereas Dapper Labs breaks theirs out by sport.
True.
So you almost have to add up NBA and NFL to compare, but we'll do that in the future. But I mean, I just think it's cool to see more sports leagues, more athletes get involved. Sorare actually has some investors that are athletes. Serena Williams is actually one of them, who just retired from tennis, one of the greatest of all times. She's an investor in Sorare. Several soccer players. And then they announced today that Blake Griffin is also added to the investor list with the NBA launch. So I feel like when you have athletes involved, like it could be a good product for sports fans. So I don't know, but more on sports NFTs tomorrow, because Alyssa, I mean, I know you're just a huge sports fan. You're super excited, but the NFL season starts tomorrow night. I have several NFL all-day packs that I still have not opened, and that DraftKings pack, and I think we're going to be opening them live on the show tomorrow to kind of kick off the season, right? Because I don't want to be sitting on these unopened packs when maybe there's a rookie in there or someone who has a breakout week, and I can, sell it and get on there, right? Because that's kind of the thing with sports, right? As some of these players, you got to take advantage when they're hot, right? So we'll be doing that. So Alyssa, the other thing here before we go, I mentioned, of course, the Future of Crypto event, December 7th in New York City. Join Benzinga at this great event. We're adding constantly to the list of speakers and the great companies reporting there. Kevin O'Leary, Scaramucci, Alex from Rareable. We're also working on some NFT collections and projects that'll be there. But right now, if you sign up using the link that I put in the YouTube chat, you get half off your ticket price. I don't know how long that code is good for. I don't know when ticket prices are going to go up, but I've been around Benzinga long enough to know that the earlier you buy your ticket, the cheaper it is. Because as we get closer to these events, as the speaker list gets confirmed, the prices go up. That's part of the business, right? We're in the business. So I would encourage everyone, if you're thinking about attending, to check out tickets now, and especially while you can get 50% off. So that link is in the chat. And yeah, Alyssa, anything else to add before we go today?
Follow us on socials. Pretty please.
See, you have to now. She said pretty please. So if you're not following us on any social media platform, but especially Twitter, make sure to do so. Pretty please.
At Benzinga. Yes.
Always at Benzinga. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Again, shout out to Sprinter for joining us on the show and all those wonderful news and headline pieces. We will be back and see everyone tomorrow talking sports NFTs, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Don't go anywhere. You got more great Benzinga content coming up on YouTube right here.